In 2026, the American landscape is witnessing a total collapse of food access in specific regions. While the national economy shows signs of growth, the hyper-localization of retail has left 12 specific zip codes in a state of terminal desertification. Residents are now trapped in a cycle of convenience store nutrition, where fresh produce is replaced by shelf-stable processed goods, creating a public health emergency that transcends simple economics. 60621 Englewood, Chicago, Illinois. The urban void. In 2026, Englewood has become the face of the grocery exodus. After the high-profile exit of Whole Foods and several discount grocers, the final independent chain shuttered its doors this January. Residents in this Southside zip code now face a 3-mile trek for a head of lettuce. The collapse here is driven by a combination of high operational costs and shrink, theft, levels that insurers refuse to cover, leaving 30,000 people to rely on gas station pantries and high-price corner stores. 70117, Lower 9th Ward, New Orleans, Louisiana. The perpetual desert. 2 decades after Katrina, the Lower 9th Ward has officially hit zero access. In early 2026, the last remaining small-format grocer closed due to skyrocketing commercial insurance premiums. This zip code is a structural desert, where public transportation is too infrequent to support weekly grocery hauls. For the elderly population here, the lack of a pharmacy grocery anchor means that basic survival now requires a coordinated effort of food shuttles and community-led garden initiatives that struggle to meet the overwhelming local demand. 44104 Kinsman, Cleveland, Ohio. The Rust Belt Retreat. Kinsman has seen a total retail wipeout. In 2026, the final national supermarket brand withdrew, citing untenable profit margins in low-income zones. This zip code suffers from a double desert effect, a lack of grocery stores combined with a lack of personal vehicles. The remaining options are dollar stores that rarely carry fresh protein or dairy. The community's reliance on these stores has led to some of the highest rates of preventable dietary diseases in the state, as fresh food becomes a luxury item. 48206, Virginia Park, Detroit, Michigan. The Motor City Stall. Despite Detroit's Midtown Renaissance, Virginia Park has been left in the dust. By mid-2026, the last neighborhood market closed after a 43-day federal shutdown interrupted SNAP payments, causing a localized liquidity crisis. This zip code represents the fragility of the safety net. When federal benefits are delayed, small grocers in high-poverty areas cannot survive the dip in sales. Now, residents must navigate a landscape of boarded-up storefronts, where food is something primarily found in a brightly colored box at the local liquor store. 38106, South Memphis, Tennessee. The Delta Decline. South Memphis has seen a systematic withdrawal of investment. In 2026, the final legacy grocery brand shuttered its last location in the 38106 zip code, leaving a population of nearly 25,000 with no fresh food options. This area is now a convenience-only zone. The total collapse here is exacerbated by food redlining, where national brands refuse to enter the market despite a clear need. The result is a community where a gallon of milk can cost 40% more than in the affluent suburbs just 10 miles away. 630310, West End, Atlanta, Georgia. The gentrification gap. In a cruel irony, the 30310 zip code has lost its affordable grocers even as luxury housing rises nearby. In 2026, the final budget-friendly supermarket was replaced by a ghost kitchen that serves delivery apps, not the local foot traffic. This digital desertification means that while food is being prepared in the neighborhood, it is priced and packaged for a demographic that doesn't actually live there. Longtime residents are effectively locked out of their own food supply, forced to travel outside the zip code for basic staples. 719132, Strawberry Mansion, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Keystone Crumble. Strawberry Mansion has hit a zero-store status following a wave of retail consolidations in late 2025. In 2026, the zip code is characterized by pharma deserts, where both the grocery store and the attached pharmacy have vanished. This leaves the vulnerable, disabled, and elderly without a way to access both nutrition and medication in a single trip. The local bodegas try to fill the gap, but their inventory is limited by small footprints and a lack of cold storage infrastructure, making fresh meat a rarity. 8. 21223, Southwest Baltimore, Maryland. The Charm City crisis. The 21223 zip code is currently enduring a total retail blackout. After the final regional chain exited in February 2026, the area became a super desert. The collapse is tied to infrastructure fatigue, aging buildings that require more in repairs than the stores generate in revenue. Residents are left with a liquor store diet, where the primary source of calories is ultra-processed snacks. The community's health outcomes have plummeted, reflecting the direct link between zip code, food access, and life expectancy in the modern American city. 9. 63106, North St. Louis, Missouri. The Gateway Gridlock. North St. Louis has long struggled, but 2026 marked the year the final bridge to fresh food was burned. The last full-service grocer in the 63106 zip code closed due to a labor desert, the inability to find and retain staff in an area with limited transit and high crime. This total collapse has turned the neighborhood into a food swamp, where fast food calorie density is the only affordable option. It is a textbook case of how labor shortages and infrastructure neglect can combine to starve a community of its health. 10. 75210, South Dallas, Texas. The Lone Star Lurch. South Dallas is experiencing a corporate retreat that has left the 75210 zip code entirely without a supermarket. In 2026, the final big box store closed, citing a shift toward online-only fulfillment centers. This fulfillment-first model prioritizes zip codes with high disposable income, leaving South Dallas in a delivery vacuum. For those without high-speed internet or a secure place for packages to be left, the digital grocery revolution is not an innovation. It is a barrier to entry for basic survival. 11. 53206, North Side, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Frozen Frontier. In 2026, Milwaukee's 53206 zip code, already one of the most incarcerated and impoverished in the nation, lost its last grocery anchor. The total collapse here is seasonal. During the harsh Wisconsin winters, the lack of a local store becomes a life-threatening issue for those without reliable transportation. The area is now a dollar store stronghold, where the only fresh items are often past their expiration dates. Community leaders have called for mobile markets, but these temporary fixes cannot replace the stability of a permanent, full-service grocery store. 12. 90044, South Los Angeles, California. The Pacific Parched. Despite California's agricultural wealth, South LA's 90044 zip code is in a state of food insolvency. In 2026, the final mainstream supermarket closed its doors, leaving the area to rely on swap meats and overpriced corner markets. The collapse here is driven by real estate inflation. Land values have risen so high that grocery stores can no longer afford the large footprints required for full-service operations. It is a stark example of how urban success can lead to the displacement of the very services that make a neighborhood livable for the working class. The total collapse of grocery access in these 12 zip codes is not a random occurrence. It is the result of a 2026 retail environment that values algorithmic efficiency over community stability.